Hello everyone, this is my match preview for Wolves versus Everton in the Premier League. Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. I'm also going to react to the Vítor Pereira press conference, anything juicy to come out of that. Also, Arokodare, the Nigerian forward, is flying over on a private plane. I'll talk about that. Predict the lineup, give my score prediction, and also I'm going to explain why Strand Larsen and Jack Grealish are key in this fixture. So let's start with that. Obviously, it's been a big story about Strand Larsen, but he is staying. Jeff Shee has completely blocked the move. George Mendes and Strand Larsen's agent convinced Newcastle that bids would be successful, but fair play to Jeff Shee. He's blocked the move and he will be staying at Wolves this window, and he will be playing against Everton on Saturday up front. And I think he's our talisman now, isn't he? Let's be honest. He come on, saved the day against West Ham, got 2 goals. Struggled a little bit in the Man City and Bournemouth games. Probably should have scored in each of those games, it could be argued. But he's key for us to get any goals against Everton, and he could be our match winner. He got 14 goals last season. He could probably match that this season if he keeps his head on it and puts it. And we've got wing backs that can put the ball into him, like Hugo Bueno and Chachua, but we'll get on to that. And on the Everton side of things, Grealish, I watched their game against Brighton. I know they lost their opening game against Leeds. Grealish was on the bench that game. They were poor at Leeds, really poor, which is a good sign for Wolves. But against Brighton, amazing atmosphere at their new stadium. Brighton missed a penalty from Welbeck, but Grealish, 2 assists. Barry, their striker, caused a lot of issues, and Dye as well in the middle, very tricky. So they've got a lot of talent going forward now, Everton. And obviously David Moyes is a very crafty manager, and we know with Jack Grealish, his history against Wolves, it's just, he's going to get booed, isn't he, heavily. He scored for Man City at Molineux a few years ago, I remember that. He also always seemed to play well for Villa when Wolves played Villa a few times when he was there around the lockdown era. So yeah, Grealish will be well up for it, and obviously he's on a high and confident at the moment, so he's potentially their match winner as well. So I think on the day, those two players are key in this fixture for either team. But before we get on to the head-to-head and my score prediction and predicted lineup, let's go and react to the Vítor Pereira press conference. Right, future me, I've just watched Vítor Pereira's press conference. Just briefly before that, Tolu Arokodare is flying over. Again, I have no idea how these people find out this information, but they've got pictures of his jet flying over from Belgium to Birmingham. His medical will take place later on today, and it's around 25 million euros the deal. So Tolu Arokodare, the big Nigerian from Genk, will be a Wolves player, and that is great news. So he should be playing after the international breaks. Obviously, I don't think he'll be ready in time for Everton joining this slate on a Friday. Also, I think the Strand Larsen issue is over because Nick Walter-Maid is joining Newcastle for around 80 million euros. So they've got their target now. So Strand Larsen is ours. There's going to be no more bids in for him. A couple of other links as well. We linked with midfielder Hayden Hackney to tick the homegrown quota, although I think Middlesbrough have said he's firmly not for sale. So we'll see what happens there. We had a loose link to Ajax midfielder Kenneth Taylor, 23 years of age, but he's not homegrown, so I doubt that will happen. And Mainu is asked to go out on loan from Manchester United. A few Wolves fans said, why don't we go for him? But I think he'll go abroad. So it'll be interesting to see which midfielder we do end up getting in. But now, on Vítor Pereira's press conference, he was in good spirits, but obviously the opening questions were about Larsen, and he actually revealed he's a doubt for the game against Everton.
Injury problems. I hope we can play tomorrow with him.
Yeah, so there we go. It must be that Achilles injury he picked up when he come off against Bournemouth, but I think he will start. He also spoke about Larsen being a good man amid all the Newcastle interest.
This is not the Jurgen that I know. Jurgen that I know is very. He has a good personality, a very good player. I know that, of course. This is a situation that, everybody talking about the same subject. I believe that, the player can think about it, but in the end of the day, you cannot control the situation.
Brilliantly handled, I think, this situation by Larsen and Vítor Pereira, and especially Jeff Shee, as we've mentioned, for sticking to his guns. He was asked about the new lad Krejci and about what positions he can play.
Of course, he has qualities. He's a technical player. He has leadership. He can play in our system in 3 positions, as a defender, as a midfielder, and this is important for us. He just did 1 training with us. He need to understand what we want from him.
Yeah, and of course there he said he's only had 1 session, so probably will be on the bench for the Everton game. He's also briefly spoke about our targets all being 6 foot plus, and he said, yeah, I identified that we need big players. That's why everyone but John Arias has been very big players that we've targeted and got in. Last but not least, the clip I want to play is he was asked about dropping Andre and his reaction to it and what he thinks about it going into the Everton game.
Andre is a fantastic player, fantastic person. I like him a lot. But sometimes we need to realize that we are competing. That's why we need to feel that beside us I have someone that if I'm not in my level, I will lose my position.
Yeah, so he praised Andre a bit there. You'll assume Andre and João Gomes will start, and that's my reaction to his press conference. Now, let's get on to the rest of my Everton preview, where I give my predicted 11 and my score prediction. Right, head-to-head, Wolves versus Everton. We have played Everton 22 times in Premier League history. We've won 8. There's been 7 draws, and Everton have won 7 times. So very tight in the head-to-head records between the 2 clubs. There's been 4 1-1 draws in this fixture over those 22 meetings. We actually beat Everton 2-1 at Molineux in our first ever Premier League game against them back in the 03-04 season. Emery Kamara scored a worldie that day, I remember. Wayne Rooney was playing for Everton back then. I went to the game, I was only about 12, but I remember it well. I was sat in the corner in the temporary seats at the time. I remember it being very weird to be sat there, but didn't have a season ticket back then with my dad, but we managed to get a ticket for that one. We drew last season 1-1 at home at Molineux against them, and we got battered 4-0 away, if you remember. A really bad night under Gary O'Neill, but the Wolves fans that day were fantastic, if you remember, a midweek fixture. And at that point, I remember thinking we were going to get relegated, but we didn't. We last beat Everton at Molineux on the 30th of December 2023, where we beat them 3-0 in a very convincing victory. We drew them in the Carabao Cup as well, didn't we? So we're going to be playing them again soon, which a bit of an underwhelming draw. But if we can keep beating Premier League teams in and around us in the Carabao Cup all the way to Wembley, I'll take it. So interesting stuff. Right, now let's go on to my predicted lineup. So I'm going to say that this is the team that Vítor will say, and this is what I would play as well. So let's combine them together. Jose Sarr in goal, it's a given. Chachua, right wing back, he was brilliant when he come on against West Ham and when he come on against Bournemouth. Hoover's got a knock, and Rodrigo, a bit harsh, he got a goal, but I think Chachua is the one for right wing back. Doherty right centre back, Agbadou in the middle, Toti Gomez left centre back as captain. Be interesting to see if Kelechi is on the bench. I think he will be, but something tells me he probably won't start as it's a bit too soon. But when he does start, I'll get onto it in a minute. I think he might be in the heart of defence, but we'll get onto that. Left wing back, Hugo Bueno for me. Brilliant when he come on at Bournemouth and absolutely fantastic against West Ham in the Cup. Muller-Wolf still bedding in, struggling a bit, so I'd give Hugo Bueno the nod for this game. Andre and João Gomes, no funny business. Get Bellegarde back out the team. Andre and João Gomes have to be our midfielders for a game this big. Front three. Now, I know people are streaming for the 3-4-1-2. I'll get onto that in a minute, but I think it'll be similar. Arias on the left, Strand-Larsen through the middle with Fer Lopez on the right. Not Manetzi, Fer Lopez. So I thought he had a good game against West Ham as well. Obviously, as mentioned, Manetzi misses out. No Hoover, but I don't think he'd be fit enough anyway. No Rodrigo, no Muller-Wolfer, no Bellegarde. Interesting. So that would be my team, and that's the team I think Vítor will pick. And just before I move on and give my score prediction, I want to pull up this team that someone put on Twitter. I thought was brilliant. This is the potential team that we could play when the signings come in. So a 3-4-1-2, which we ended playing against West Ham when we got the 2 goals. Sarr, Agbadu right centre back, Kelechi centre back in the middle because he's really good on the ball, Totti left centre back, Hugo Bueno left wing back, Chachura right wing back, Angelo Gomez in the middle, and then Adius in the number 10 free role with Strand Larsen and Tolu, the big Nigerian who looks like he's on his way up front with Strand Larsen, two massive lads up front. We can all dream, obviously gutted for Fair Lopez and people like that, but they can come off the bench and make an impact. I just thought I'd share that because I think that's an interesting team that could potentially be our team once the window closes and all the lads are in. But let's get on to score predictions. Right, with my head, I'm going to say Wolves 2, Everton 1. Goals from Jorgen Strand Larsen and Fair Lopez. For Everton, I'll say Ndai gets their goal. With my heart, Wolves 4, Everton 1. Strand Larsen double, John Adius and Fair Lopez with Ndai getting the Everton goal. But yeah, please like the video, please subscribe if you're new. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you next video. Cheers everyone.